Okay, so programming languages can be classified as low level and high level. Low level example, let's name one. Assembly code. High level, Python. Right, now that you know what they are, alright, so you've got assembly code and Python. I want you to think about how they are written. If you want an example of assembly code commands, here's an example from a previous paper that I've used with some A-level students. So like you've got and, or, exclusive or, moving data around, okay? Examples of assembly code, whereas in Python it's a lot more closer to structured English, such as if this is happening, or you've got a while loop, you've got all of that, alright? So just think about that, have that in your mind. Now it says shade two statements that are true, alright? So two lozenge to show the statements that are true about the code written using a low-level language instead of a high-level language. So what we're looking at here is for you to fully show that you understand the difference between the two. So first of all, we've got the code more closely resembles that of English. Would you say that that is true about a low-level language, given what I've just shown you?
No.
No. Good. All right. The code is easier to write. I wouldn't say that low-level is easier to write. You've got to remember all your registers and where you're putting things, okay? The code is not translated using a compiler. That is true. We need compilers for high-level languages, don't we, to get them into the actual code that works on the machine. So just remember that. The code is quicker to write. No, it's not. In fact, you have more instructions to write because you are being more specific about where you're doing all your shifts and all of that. Whereas the code on the code written in high-level programming languages is a lot more different. The code in assembly can directly manipulate computer registers. That is true, okay? And just so you can see, here are examples again. This is from an A-level guide. You can see I'm storing values from registers. I'm adding values to registers. This is an example of assembly code. Alright, think about it. When you're writing in Python or you're writing in C# or any other programming language, you're not referring to registers a lot of the time because that's what's happening in the CPU. That's what's happening inside your code. Okay, so the answer for that should have been C and E. Alright, now the purpose, alright, the purpose of an assembler, alright, is to turn assembly language into machine code. Alright, so we need to turn assembly code into machine code. Alright, what you might not know at this point in time, alright, that these instructions in assembly actually have machine code allocated to them. So what the assembler does is it converts them back to the ones and zeros that represent that instruction. That's what the assembler does. It converts it from assembly code into the machine code so you're able to actually work a lot quicker. Alright? Now the way that the interpreter works, okay, we are just going to finish that one off today. Alright, is that interpreters, alright, I'm just going to put these in, actually I might as well show you the mark scheme here for this one, alright. So interpreters do not produce any machine code. So the program needs to be translated each time, alright. So interpreters do not produce any machine code, so the program needs to be translated each time. The machine code subroutines within their own code need to be carried out directly Alright, so they call the machine code subroutines within their own code to carry out commands, or they're directly executed the instruction. The other thing we've got here is translating a line, a statement at a time, rather than all at once. So interpreters are literally go next line, next line, next time, next line, like when you're in Python. And then it stops when a runtime error is found. Think about it. When you're using Python and when you're coding, right, what happens? You get the red error because it may be in the middle of running it and then it's like, runtime error. So as long as you can understand how that interpreter is working, you understand how this question works. So this is also in line with your programming. All right?